Welcome back to the Wop House. My name is Bruwop, and today, bro, so for some reason, wrestling has become relevant again. Recently, WrestleMania happened. This stuff's popping up on my timeline. I see I Show Speed getting massacred by a dude like every 2 months. And basically, the other day I was playing Oblivion on stream and reacting to SmackDown or whatever. I'm not really paying attention. This guy pulls out a prosthetic leg and basically passes it to Montez Ford. And this dude then beats this other guy with the prosthetic leg and throws it back to the other guy. You just kind of have to see this.
The hell out of each other!
Like, this whole match was all over the place. Like, in the same match, you had Angelo Dawkins. Dude, these guys be jumping off ladders and this and that, and people are like, yo, wrestling is fake. Wrestling is whatever. And, speculate as you will on that.
Is he eyeing it? Is there a target on Tommaso? Midair spear through.
Yo, big man. Yeah, Angelo Dawkins did that. Okay, so I hope he's okay because that looked crazy. And to not go too crazy on it, I had one more clip that I pulled up from I think a couple months back. It was in November. The current women's champion, Io Sky, did this.
Sky now has a trash can in hand at the top of the cage. She's the genius of the sky, but this is ridiculous. Oh my God!
Right. So wrestling is kind of insane lately. I don't know where it's going, what the hell's going on. So I have a couple clips from stream from the other day where I was just reacting to moves that almost left guys paralyzed. And I'll go ahead and leave that here to finish off the video.
Responsible for the move, and the story goes that Misawa attempted a powerbomb and the move was botched, and this led to his opponent landing horribly on their head. Due to his opponent somehow being perfectly fine and the move receiving a positive reaction from the audience, the move just seemed to stick around, and over time it became a commonly used move in professional wrestling. Number 5. The Jackknife Powerbomb. Performing a powerbomb on a smaller opponent should be relatively easy for a wrestler such as Kevin Nash. However, when Nash was tasked with hitting his trademark powerbomb on the Giant, aka the Big Show, at the '98 sold-out pay-per-view, everything went wrong. At first, it looked like Nash was going to be able to get the Giant up. However, during the final few seconds, he dropped the Giant on his head. This was the single most terrifying moment in the history of WCW, and there was great concern that the Giant had broken his neck live on pay-per-view. Thankfully, the Giant was okay and he was able to wrestle again. And in typical WCW, thankfully, there was great concern that the Giant had broken his head. This was the single most... However, during the final few seconds, he dropped the Giant on his head. This was the single most terrifying moment in the history of WCW, and there was great concern that the Giant had broken his neck live on pay-per-view. Hulk Hogan made a career out of dropping his devastating leg drop, yet Hogan has admitted that he regrets picking the leg drop as his primary finishing move, as doing the move thousands of times over the years has led to irreversible damage on his back. According to WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle on his podcast, Hogan has had the nerves cut from his lower body and he can't feel anything down below, unless free the tombstone. And when the dead man did the move against Mario Mancini, it looked like Mancini had been legitimately injured in the middle of the ring. When The Undertaker performed the move against Koko B. Ware at the Survivor Series pay-per-view in 1990, it looked incredibly stiff. When Taker came back through the curtain, Beware would claim that Undertaker had hurt his neck. The legendary dead man added some great insight into this story on his podcast, and he stated that he thought that he and Beware were going to come to physical blows. "You hurt my neck. I said, Koko, if I hurt you, I am sorry. I really pride myself on being safe and taking care of the guys I'm working with." He kept going, he was pissed, and to the point where I'd apologized all I could apologize for, and that's when I said, "I've apologized as much as I know how to. If you're not going to accept that, then maybe we need to go out in the parking lot and figure this out." Banzai drop. Whilst Yokozuna was usually safe with his opponents in the ring, he was also prone to putting a little too much force into his finishing move, the Banzai drop. If Yokozuna wrestled someone he didn't like or an enhancement talent...
Bro! No, I'm sorry, man. Every time I see this shit, imagine being this guy. You know what I mean? Just like... this dude... Every time I see this shit, I see somebody do this or whatever. Like there's someone that does basically the same thing now. It's just a lady does this move now. But nah, bro. Low key, this shit is funny as fuck every time I see this.
He would often make the move look like he was trying to legitimately injure his opponent. Take, for instance, when he wrestled jobber Dan Dubiel on an episode of Raw in early 1994. When Yokozuna performed the Banzai drop, Yoko came down on him with all his full weight.
Yo.
To make matters
What the fuck? He killed this man.
94. When Yokozuna performed the Banzai drop, Yoko came down on him with all his...
This is the moment that he died. Right there.
Full weight. To make matters worse, the referee had to inform Yokozuna that now was the time to get off the poor jobber. Dubiel looked like he was paralyzed in the middle of the ring, but thankfully he was okay, and he continued to wrestle for WWE during that week's TV tapings. And number 1, the original pedigree. The pedigree is one of the most famous moves in wrestling,
I feel like everybody has tried this move, like on somebody they know at some point.
and for it to work safely, Triple H or any wrestler giving the move must allow the wrestler to land flat thanks to a front face bump. For a wrestler to land in this way, the wrestler giving the move usually has to let go of their opponent's arms, and this means that the wrestler can then support themselves and land safely down on the mat. Well, when Triple H first did the pedigree on TV, he kept a hold of his opponent's arms, and when he hit it on the enhancement talent named Marty Garner, Garner managed to get spiked head first right into the mat. The landing was horrible.
Bruh.
And if Garner was hurt, then it's possible that the move could have been completely banned in WWE. According to Garner, during an interview on In the Weeds, he had genuinely zero idea what the pedigree was, and this impacted the way he took...
That is... my brother.
Genuinely zero idea what the pedigree was, and this impacted the way he took the move. Yeah. Hunter was new there, and I was new there. I didn't want to tell him that I didn't know what the pedigree was. I had no idea what the
Bro, like, are these not questions that you were allowed to ask in the 90s or, like, in general? Like, yo, you can take this move. Yeah, I can take anything. Face ass.
Pedigree was. When he said, "Are you good with taking the pedigree?" I said, "Oh yeah, sure, man." When he locked me into it, it felt like it'd be a powerbomb because he was putting my head between his legs. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna kick hard. I didn't think it was a pile driver, but I didn't know what it was. I should have probably asked, looking back. Garner went on to say that the game was concerned for his welfare, but Garner has admitted that he's responsible for the move going so poorly. So there you have it, folks. 10 WWE moves that nearly paralyzed an opponent. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.
The fuck is this thumbnail? Man, it's alright, dude. That is wild, my brother. But yeah, wrestling has been really weird. Are you watching it? Are you not? Do you still think it's cringe? Did you stop watching it at like 14 and now you're like John Cena? What? You know what I mean? So let me know. Holla at me. It's Bruwop, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. It's literally Bruwop on all platforms. You're going to find me. BruwopTV.